Off you go, that's enough. Alright, we've got rid of that cartoon. Welcome to Dave's Cave, and I'm Dave TTC. This week, sadly, Tommy, Sammy and Tyler are not with us. They're off with their mum somewhere. They're off on a homeschooling trip and seeing some of their other brothers and sisters. But this week, without them, I do have some old video and a few other photos to share with you. And we're going to talk about wood turning. So please ignore that cartoon that you just saw and let's have a look at some wood turning. So what is wood turning? Well, it's turning wood from some other shape, basically, to round. Wood is put on a lathe and it might be square, it might be a log, and it'll be turned around and around, and using a chisel it will be made into a shape typically round. Wood turning is something for old men. It's not for young people. It's not hang on a minute. Sammy, you've done it again. Trying to prove me wrong. Okay, so wood turning, it's not done by grumpy old men. Wood turning can be done by almost anyone. Young, old, male, female, by people even in wheelchairs can do wood turning. I was first introduced to wood turning when I was at school. Since then I've developed quite a passion for it, having always liked working with timber in any way, shape or form, but the use of the lathe is something that has interested me more and more over time. Consequently, I've acquired a number of lathes over time. Typically a lathe is something that's driven by an electric motor, but it's not always been the case. Once upon a time they were foot powered, whether it was by some kind of wheel or a pole lathe that was simply a pole with a piece of string wrapped around the work that you were working. Sometimes these lathes might be driven by someone else, or other times by the operator. Today most people use a motorised lathe. Wood turning can be rather dangerous. That's why you saw Sammy in a complete face shield, and never should it... Sammy, did you do that again? That video wasn't meant to be seen by anyone. Alright, well now it's out there. Just a little word of caution. Never use a lathe without at least some form of eye protection. I just got the lathe, I was being a little bit silly, bit of skylarking, and I wanted to test it out. So I grabbed it. You'll see that I'm stood back from the timber that's turning, so if anything were to be thrown out, it wouldn't actually hit me, except maybe in the arms. And the only reason the shavings are coming near me is because I'm deliberately guiding them that way. This particular timber was green and very unlikely to shatter. But, really speaking, anyone using a lathe should, at a very minimum, wear safety glasses or a complete face shield. You can even wear breathing apparatus. Moving right along, we see an example of Sammy once more turning herself.
Now back the other way. Okay, you got to hold of the chisel there. Move your fingers up there a little bit. That's it. Okay, switch the over.
It's been suggested that Sammy is able to turn beads even better than her dad.
That's nearly better than your dad can do.
Well, she is doing a mighty fine job there, and the skew chisel, that flat chisel with a pointy end, is one of the hardest chisels to master. And she is at the hands of a good and very accomplished wood turning friend of mine who's giving her some lessons there. So really speaking, it doesn't matter whether you're young or old, male or female, most people are capable of doing wood turning to some degree. Pen turning can be rather addictive. It's been what has led many people to a compulsion, you might say, with wood turning. From turning pens, they've moved on to other things. Still turning pens, but broadening their scope. There are some people who that's all they do. They like to turn pens, and there is quite a variety of pen designs, both in the kits and the shapes that you can turn if you let your imagination get carried away with you. So I encourage you all, give it a go. If you have an opportunity, if you get the chance, try your hand at a little bit of wood turning. My kids have done it, they'll continue to do it. And on a parting note, I like to throw things back over to Tyler.
And don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget your toilet paper.
As Tyler said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Please, if you have any thoughts, comments, if you've got things that you would like to see us do, let us know in the comments below. And by all means, if you would like to see any one of the kids do something in particular, Sammy, Tommy or Tyler, if you want them to show you how to do something, just say so and we'll see what we can do.